What up, what up, what up, what up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Manifesting Stardom. Let your reward be the work. That's the title of this video. That's what, or that's the topic of this video. I don't know what I'm gonna title it, but welcome to Manifesting Stardom. This is the journey to me being the biggest star in the world. You get to be a part of the journey, and you get to be inspired, or you get to watch, or you get to tune in, or you get to let me be a part of your journey too. But yeah, today's episode I wanted to talk about letting your reward be, letting the work itself be the reward. I do my daily bread, my morning devotions, my Bible study to just kind of keep me aligned and perfect. I mean, not perfect, but progressing in my pursuit as an artist, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a dreamer, as a creative. And so the message from the scripture reference today is just simply, bro, let the reward itself be the work. Like, a lot of times I know it's cliche to be like, oh, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But I want to try to break it down as literal or in a more concise manner that may be easier to understand for some people, because a lot of times what happens is we do the work, and of course we're looking for this thing to give us results. We're looking for our seeds that we plant to give us to grow and to flourish. But what we really have to do is get used to just planting the seed. And so today's scripture reference is Ecclesiastes 11:4 through verse 6. And it says, "A farmer who waits for the right wind will never plant any seeds. If he is always looking at the clouds, he will never bring it into his crops. We do not know the path that the wind blows along, nor do we know how a baby's body grows inside a pregnant woman. So nobody can explain things that God does. He is the one who has made everything. Plant your seeds in the morning and continue to work until the evening. You do not know which seeds will become the strong plants. Perhaps only some of them will grow. Perhaps they will all grow." And so that first one, verse 4, it says, "A farmer who waits for the right wind will never plant any seeds." And that goes into what I was saying before in the last episode about, like, you just have to do the work, because you can never wait for the right time. Like, as a person that's analytical, as a person that does research, and you want to try to make everything perfect, or you want it to be the right time, or you want your strategy to work out, be wise as possible. But then at some point you just gotta bet on you gotta trust God, and you gotta jump. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's probably one of the biggest things that holds us back, especially as like people that are smart, or people that are really gifted, or people that are know a lot. A lot of times your knowledge is what will hold you back, because you're looking at, so much, and if I start this business, look at what the economy's doing, or if I make this move, look at what everybody else is doing. I need to have this many followers. I need to know this type of person. I need to have this much money. But the reality is, you may never get that connection until you start. So waiting for the perfect wind, you'll never plant any seeds. Waiting for the sun to shine that perfect day, it'll never be. Waiting for your motivation to get back, you will never be the right amount of motivated to just get started. You'll never have all the resources at the beginning. So you just got to start. And I love the verse 6. It says, "Plant your seeds in the morning and continue to work until the evening. You don't know which seed will become strong plants. Perhaps only some of them will grow, and perhaps they will all grow." And if you've been living life for any amount of time, you understand that so much of our lives is unpredictable. So much of our lives, a large portion of our lives don't have control over. But one thing you can do is control the output. You know what I'm saying? You can control the output, and you can control how you respond. And that goes into what I was talking about in the last episode about creating systems. You know what I'm saying? You create systems because the system is what that's you planting your seed. So if you're doing something every day, one of those days you're going to hit the jackpot. You know, Denzel Washington says, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, eventually you'll get a haircut. You know what I mean? And so, like, for me, I've created a system, one, because you can't depend on your motivation to be consistent or disciplined with anything, because as a human being, we're not built to be motivated 24/7. We're not built to be motivated to every single day. But our systems, if you create a system, if you create a schedule, if you create a strategy, if you create a small micro steps that you can do every day that become habitual, that is what changes who you are and sets you up for the likelihood of some positivity or better things happening for you. It's your systems, and that is literally, you don't know which seeds will become strong plants. Perhaps only some of them will grow, perhaps they will all grow well. And I think an example is, like, for me, I practice piano every day, I practice guitar every day. Somebody texted me. I practice piano every day, I practice guitar every day, but I record music every day. You know what I'm saying? This is something I do every single day. Now, let's say, right, for the 30 minutes, because I have a schedule, so I practice piano for 30 minutes, guitar for 30 minutes, I dance for 30 minutes, and I record for 30 minutes. That don't seem like a lot. A lot of, like, musicians or producers, you might hear about them in the studio for 5-6 hours, or they stay whatever, you know, till from dusk till dawn or all overnight. But nobody can maintain that every day. Nobody can practice for 4 hours every day. I'm not saying that nobody can, but the most people have lives. Like, we got bills, we got family, we got things that we have to do. For me, it ain't even about me having other people that I'm responsible for. It's merely all of the things that require of me as an artist. If I was to just be in the studio all day, I would not have time to practice piano. I wouldn't be able to stay in shape. Like, all of those are equally important to my identity and my creative process as an artist. So the only way that I can make sure that I'm progressing at everything or progressing consistently is to create a schedule. I do piano, guitar, studio, and I dance, and I go to the gym every day. But the example I wanted to use was, you know, I might be working on the same song for a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, or a month, because I'm doing just 30 minutes every day. But the reward for me is not in, is the song done? The reward for me is that I do my 30 minutes. Because in my 30 minutes, I'm able to, if my goal is to finish the song, which my goal ultimately is, I don't try to prolong the process, but if my goal is to finish the song, now my priority becomes the completion of it or the results of it, as opposed to the tedious, meticulous detail that it may take for me to perfect the song. So my reward, so I don't walk away from recording every day saying, another day of failure because I didn't finish the song, I didn't finish that verse, I didn't get all the vocals done. I walk away feeling accomplished because my reward is the work. My reward is that I did my 30 minutes. That even if all I did in that 30 minutes was I just recorded 16 background tracks, background vocal stacks, or I figured out how to program the right quantization for the drum pattern, or I made a little nuance to the first verse, or whatever, or I started mixing, or I EQ'd, or whatever I'm doing, the reward for me is not the song is done, it's not the song is out, it's not people are responding to the song. Of course that's the goal, of course that's the goal, but the reward, the thing that keeps me moving, is me being consistent with my system and my schedule. Because someday you're not going to be able to sit down for 8 hours and finish a whole song. Anybody that really knows music, anybody that really does this, yeah, you might get a special moment, and of course some people are more fluent than others, but another thing is I'm singing the song, I'm writing the song, I'm producing the song, like the whole track. I'm producing the song, I'm mixing the song. So it's different layers. You got some people that come in and they write, and then they got a producer that does his part, and then they got a somebody that arranges vocals, then they got somebody that mixes the vocals, then they got somebody that mixes the track. I'm doing it all. So me putting that kind of pressure on myself to be like, I've been working on the same song for 3 weeks. Nigga, I'm doing everything on the song myself. So my reward is, did you do your 30 minutes today? Did you do your 30 minutes? And if I can say that I practiced piano for 30 minutes, I practiced guitar for 30 minutes, I danced and got my cardio in for 30 minutes and performed for 30 minutes, I recorded for 30 minutes, I went to the gym, I drank my gallon of water, I prayed, I journaled, I vlogged, and then I did whatever those specific, whether it's scheduling content for J Telegrams, or whether it's shooting content for Jamai, or whether it's working on a video set, or whether it's sending out emails to clients or responding to leads. Those are more I wouldn't say they second tier, but they aren't my everyday type things. Like, you know what I'm saying? But my everyday thing is piano, guitar, studio, dance, the gym. That's and prayer. And drinking that's an everyday thing. That's breakfast. That's what I call breakfast. And so the reason I can do that is because my reward is the work. My reward is the system. My reward is I'm able to get my little shot of dopamine by saying, check, I got a little, my numbers graph that logs my progress. Because anything that can't be measured, I told y'all this before, anything that can't be measured can't be managed. And so log my workout. I logged my, every day that I pray, that I stretch, that I do my piano, that I do my guitar. That's my little dopamine hit. That's my reward. It's not that I finish that I perfect this scale and this progression that I'm working on, or this piece that I'm working on, that I really perfect the chord progression that I'm working on in guitar. No, it's not that. It's just, did I show up? Because every day showing up looks different. Every day at the gym, you can't lift the same amount. Every day at the gym, you procrastinate, or you sluggish this day, or the weight seems a little heavy today, or because it's raining, it affected your mood. But did you show up? Did you do your hour of working out? That's what matters. So let the reward be the work. A lot of people say enjoy the journey. I ain't even saying enjoy it. Because if it's your passion and you love to do it, then that's not really a choice, because you have to do it in order to stay alive, in order to be who you are. But let the reward be the work, not the fans or people screaming your name, not how many streams you got, not how many subscribers or how many people commented on the video or liked the video. Or let the work be the reward, because that's what's going to build your confidence. That's what's going to build your trust. That's what's going to build your reputation. That's what's going to build your character. The work, not the response of the work, because we all know the response isn't always accurate, or it's not always fair. I know it's a concept out here that, like, the reason your content isn't doing good is because it's not good, or the reason your song hasn't been a hit is because you haven't written a hit song. I totally disagree with that. I think there are far more variables that make a hit song a hit song. I think it's a lot of hit songs that's out. I know I got hit songs on my album. It's nothing nobody can tell me that I know I have great hit songs on my album. But that doesn't mean that it's not a hit because it ain't win a Grammy. That don't mean that it's not good enough to be Grammy worthy. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. The final product is not always going to get the response that it deserves. And so if you allow for that to be your level of validation, you'll never be who you're created to be, because the society's tastes change. People like stuff because other people like stuff. People like stuff because it's a movie that came out. People like stuff because they can relate to this at this part of their life. So everything is subjective. Everything is relative. But that doesn't mean that your art isn't good enough. because nobody liked it or nobody posted it or nobody shared it or that doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that. People have to know about something to like it or not like it. And for a lot of us artists in a world of social media, the daggone algorithm may not even show somebody something for them to decide whether they like it or not. My Telegram page, I got 40,000 followers, but not all 40,000 of those followers see the content. And just because the first few people that maybe saw it and didn't like it or didn't engage with it, therefore the algorithm assumes that nobody else will like it, so they don't show it to nobody else. That doesn't mean that all 40,000 of my followers wasn't going to like it or wouldn't have supported it if they had a chance to see it. You know what I'm saying? And so I know that was a little tangent, but I just wanted to drop that point home that like the reward needs to be the fact that you said that you did what you said you was going to do, not that people loved it and applauded it. You know what I'm saying? So let go of all your preconceived notions. Let the reward be the work. And, don't wait for perfect conditions, man. Just put it out there. Just put it out there. So, you know what I'm going to say. Tune in, subscribe, tell me more what y'all want to see. I don't know if y'all noticed, I got my beard cut. You know what I'm saying? Got the beard cut because it's a new season. It's 2026 and life is already changing for me. Everything is progressing. I'm in a season of abundance. So, I wanted to go for a new look, and hopefully, my little patches that I had will probably grow back because I cut it. So, yeah. Tune into the next episode. I love y'all. Peace.